Hey guys, it's Kugli again with another video, and this time I've got the OneOS 3, I guess it's called the One3OS for the OnePlus 3, which is a stock based ROM, still based in Oreo. Stay tuned for that. So guys, the OneOS ROM, which you can see here, well, this thing works, which is pretty cool. The One3OS, the one series of ROMs for the OnePlus devices, is quite a popular series of ROMs. Actually, it is available for almost all the OnePlus devices. I have installed this ROM on my brother's 5T, and it's one of the better stock-based ROMs. This comes with a big Roma installer, which I'll be showing you guys, and it does have a few options which really does work out. I wanted to revisit a stock ROM because, well, the stock OS ROM has been received as one of the most preferable, even better than the Google's stock OS, which I actually do think that it is actually better. Without further ado, let's just get started. Now, first of all, this is the OnePlus launcher, which is the OnePlus launcher which is here. It does have the shelf options. It does work out really well. Let's go to the About Phone page. In the settings menu, in the About Phone page, you can see it is OnePlus 3 status and all that. It is for this model. It is based on 5.0.2, which is the latest version of stable release of OnePlus's OxygenOS available for our device. It is still based on Oreo 8.0. There is a rumor that a 9.0 will be coming up, skipping 8.1, so I'm honestly looking forward to that. Security patches is September still, not October, but we will be getting a November security patch, hopefully. The kernel is the stock kernel, but the kernel, as you can see, is pretty old. It is using 3.18.166. I guess the 1.2.4 version is the latest one. You do have a lot of custom kernels available for OnePlus OS and OxygenOS, and they do work out really well. So that is it in the About Phone page. Before I get started, this is the official 5.0.6 version, so you are going to get the basic stuff with any OxygenOS will be getting. And to be honest, I have been using this for about 2 days now, and OxygenOS is actually a pretty great ROM for a custom ROM. Now, considering other ROMs like MUI or FunTouch or I don't know, TouchWiz OS or Xperia OS, all those ROMs have wanted me to go to a custom ROM just because I couldn't stand it. This one is a little bit different because I can stand it, I can use it, I guess, and it just works out really well. Let's get to the features. Now, first of all the features in here are basic things. Everything just works as you would expect out of a stock ROM, nothing special here. One feature in the customization options is where the extra features are. Alert slider options are available. This is the OnePlus device, so you know it is going to work out. There's no awesome sliders or anything like that, but I mean, it is okay. There is a customization applications available for customizing the options for the alert slider, which is a third-party application. Button options are available. You can customize the backlight, you can enable, disable that, swap the buttons if you're coming from Samsung. On-screen navigation button can be enabled here, and it does work out really well if you are someone who uses that. You cannot have the on-screen buttons and the hardware buttons at the same time, which makes sense. Now, in the home screen customization, the button customization option, you do have long press and double tap button for each and every button, that is home, recent and back button, and it does have fair bit of customizations available, so I really do like that. I have kept normal stuff like home button, double tap will turn off my screen and all that. You do have options here. These are all the options. It doesn't have a custom application option. Then the gesture options, it does have flip to mode, which is really cool. 3-finger screenshot is available, and this is one of the only ROMs where the 3-finger screenshot does work out. And the screenshot option in here is pretty comprehensive. It does have an editor tool, it does have a crop tool, works out really well. I've been really upset with the Oreo screenshot editor because it didn't have a lot of things. The markup tool was added later, so I would have really liked this one because it does work out really well. It does have an enabler for double tap to wake, which does work out. Music control, open camera and toggle flashlight is working. Now, in the status bar options, you do have a few options. You do have battery bar style, so you can have battery circle, battery bar, and all that is available. You can customize that. Battery percentage can be enabled or disabled. You can also have the display of the network speed, which does work out. I would like to have uplink and downlink. Time options are also available. You can enable, disable that. You can even disable time outright, so only when you swipe down you will get the time here, so it does work out really well. Icon manager is available. If you don't want icons like VOLT, if you don't want that, you can disable that. NFC, you don't want that, you can disable that. And the font option, it does have a font customization, which has two fonts which both of them I don't like a lot. So the display option, you do have adaptive brightness enabled, you can enable that, and also the option for slider is also available, which you can customize. Sleep timer, night mode is available, which you can customize, which is available. It does have an effect of the blue shade or the warm shade. You can customize that. It does work out really well. Now theming options, it does have light mode and dark mode, which is pretty cool. It does have a few accent colors also, but I have installed Ozone, which is also available with the Aroma installer on this ROM, which really does work out. It does give you a little bit more options available, which works out, and I really do like that. You can enable that and customize all the colors which you need. Font size and display size enable is available. Ambient display can be enabled, which is pretty cool. Lift up display is also available, which actually is something I really do like. I mean, if you lift it up, it actually gives you a lot of options. I mean, even the battery percentage is shown there, which a lot of other ROMs does not have it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pulse notification light is also available, and NVIDIA customization is available for battery charge, and per app notification can be customized from the per app menu. This is an Oreo feature. In the sound and vibration options, you do have customizations available. Now something which I did notice is that on the status bar, if you have something like the my smartwatch connected, which is a Bluetooth device, you do have an option to change the routing of the audio from the status bar itself, and that is amazing. I really like that. I haven't seen that in any other custom ROMs. I don't even remember that option was available in this one, and it works out really well. I really like that. Apart from that, security options, it does have face unlock, which is to be expected. It does have Google Play Protect, fingerprint unlock, and all that is still working. It does work out really well. And in the advanced option, you do have option for scheduled power on, power off, which is a really great feature if you are someone who uses that. Pocket mode can be enabled or disabled if you are someone who uses pocket mode, and I mean, if you have this thing available, you saw that, right? I mean, you can use that. It actually does work out here. And there is also an option in the status bar where you can enable OTG if you are using that. Recent app management is also available if you want to have the clear all button to deep clean or normal clear. You will have a customization for that. Gaming mode can be enabled from here, and it just works out really well. Bluetooth app codec can also be used. Now I use a headphone which does have aptX HD. If your headphone uses some other codec, you can actually customize from here. No need to go digging around the developer option. It does have system updater, but I mean, to be honest, this is a custom ROM. It's not gonna get any system updates anyways. And that much is it in the settings or the feature section. As I've already said, the feature section in this ROM, it's not the most feature-rich ROM. You should understand that. You should already know that. But I mean, considering what custom ROMs were previously, like I've had experience with a lot of custom ROMs. Even the USB ROMs doesn't have this much features. This ROM has a lot of the internal features just figured out, and it just works. I really like that. I mean, the simple things like dark mode and accent color customization and like the button customization stuff, it's not there in any USB ROM. So this one does have a little bit more customization. I mean, still it's not there to compete with other custom ROMs like Havoc, MSM Extended, or even Liquid Smooth or any other thing. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for features. Now the battery life. The battery life is amazing. As you can see, the active drain, I mean, I've restarted this device a few minutes back just because I was applying substratum theme and all that. The active drain is about 10%. I mean, that is the battery life you can expect from this ROM. It is a battery life giving awesomeness. You get a lot of battery life with this. You get a very good flat curve. I mean, I'm not even sure if you can see that. There is a flat curve almost somewhere here, and this was 9 hours ago. The idle drain is also pretty amazing. I do have a beef with idle drain because sometimes when the phone is off, the display is off, it just shuts off everything. It just shuts off everything on the device, like WhatsApp. I don't get any messages until I wake up the device, which is not what I'm looking for. But I mean, in the battery life front, it actually does give you a little bit more juice. You can actually disable that from the developer options. If you go into here and just disable dose mode, it will eat up a little bit more battery life, and you can, I mean, then your device will not go into the deep sleep mode, or the deepest of deep sleep. That's what I guess I should be calling that. So that's something. Battery management on this one is very aggressive. It was closing up all my EX kernel manager battery optimizer or the battery monitor option. It was closing this up quite often, and I had to unoptimize this. So if you are having some issues with the any application which is getting closed in the background, you can go into battery options and click on battery optimization and just select the application whichever you don't want to be closed, and click on don't optimize, and that will allow that application to run freely. Do this only with trusted applications, but I mean, if you have to do it, you can do that. But the battery life is pretty amazing. It's stellar. It's almost as good as almost or even better than Skydragon, I would say. Not even 8 out of 10 battery life. Now the performance of the ROM. The performance of the ROM is also pretty decent. I do have to say that OnePlus has been caught with their pants down with benchmarking stuff. I won't believe them a lot now, but to be honest, the score which I received is pretty much in line with any other ROM. Got about 161,428 for the average score, which is pretty cool. It is probably in the higher echelons of ROMs which I have tested, even testing with Pi. But again, don't go with the benchmark score. I have tried to run Fortnite and it does work out about as you would expect. It just works. I don't have any issues with that. Just had been working really well. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 for performance. Now the stability of the ROM. I mean, when it comes to stability, what do you expect? This is a stock based ROM which the device manufacturers have undergone a lot of testing to get it done and get it working for people of every genre, not just developers, not just super users. So I don't think I can give it any less score. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 for stability, because that is the highest grade which I have ever given for a ROM, I guess, at least on Pi space, or at least in this regard. So yeah, 8.5 it is. Now the camera. The camera is what do you expect? I mean, this is a stock camera. Stock camera works. It does have slow motion. It has everything working, so you don't have to worry anything about that. I have actually installed Google camera, and actually it does work very well. It does take a good photograph with HDR on, and you can see that there is that HDR on ring there. It actually does work out really well. I'm not gonna say one is better than the other, or both of them have their own functions. This one does work out most of the time. Portrait mode does work out, and I have been happy with that. I don't think there is much to worry about or much to think about in this regard. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 for camera. Now the aesthetics. The aesthetics of the ROM is also pretty decent. It does have a dark mode. It doesn't have all the accent colors inbuilt, but due to this being a custom ROM, the OneThree OS does have ozone package, which is available in the Roma installer. It just works. I'm really happy about that. You can get a lot more with the Substratum theme, which is enabled. It also has a curved theme enabled, which I did not install. I'm gonna show you guys the Roma installer soon, but for the aesthetics, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now comes the overall experience, and the overall experience is also pretty decent. I mean, there was a time when I just wanted to get away from a stock ROM just because it was a stock ROM, and I knew that this is not gonna work out very well for me. But I mean, with OxygenOS, I don't really need to get away from it. Almost all the customization which you basically need as a real basic need, it's there. Button customization is there, or ambient display is there. You have customization for themes. I mean, dark mode is available. You can even customize this thing with the ozone, so you can also have that. I mean, there are a lot of ways you can customize this to your liking. It just works really well. Only issue with the overall experience using this ROM is, as I've already said, the battery, because it chooses to conserve battery more than the user experience. I mean, I have gotten mails, very important mails, like 30 or 40 minutes after the fact they have been sent and received in my inbox, just because it was dozing. The phone was dozing, it did not pick up on the mail, and I was 40 minutes late to reply to that important mail. This doesn't pose a threat to people who don't really have something like that. I mean, previously I didn't have that, but right now I'm a working individual. I really do require instant messaging. I mean, IM is instant messaging and I need it to be instant. That is how I see it. But for the rest of us, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, the experience wise, this is the best of the bunch. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 for the experience, because it is an amazing experience. Now let me show you guys the Roma installer. Basically, I'm gonna go boot into recovery and show you guys that. Here's a splash screen which comes with it. I mean, it is red. It is, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I have installed it accidentally. I can't get to remove that. There are zip files available which you can get and remove that. This is the boot animation for the OnePlus, the OneThree OS, which is pretty cool. Subjectively, I really like that, and it will have that cool animation at the end of it, which is also pretty cool. There you have it, guys. That is the OneThree OS for the OnePlus 3. Before closing it up, just want to let you guys know, if you are coming from an Android Pi ROM, even if your phone is decrypted, this ROM will cause an issue with encryption. I had to wipe all my data, but I do have an option. I do have a server which actually backs up everything nightly, so I didn't lose much of data. But anyways, if you are going to try this ROM, just make a backup of everything, wipe the data, because that is gonna happen. A lot of people were having issues with that, so just keep that in mind. Apart from that, it's gonna be cool. And if now again this ROM is now encrypted now, I have to go on and decrypt everything. So yeah, that is basically there. If you are just trying this ROM out, I mean, if you are someone who wants to have a very stable, very good battery life giving ROM and don't want to fuss around with a custom ROM, I mean, I was really amazed at how much I missed not fuzzing around with a ROM. Everything just works. That's a beauty. That's very, I mean, it's such a good experience just using this ROM after using all the custom ROMs for such a long time. I can't say that I will be switching to this ROM yet. Maybe on Pi I might go and just use a stock ROM or custom ROM based on the official ROM, but for now I'll be going to Pi back, so I'll have to decrypt anyway. So yeah, the final score is going to be about 7.5854922228, which is going to give a final score of 7.6 for this ROM, which is the highest score which any ROM has gotten yet, and I really do endorse that. If you are someone who is just trying out custom ROMs, ask yourself, why do you need a custom ROM? If it is just for more features, then yeah, cool, you can just go ahead and get that. If you're thinking more battery life and more stability, I mean, just stay on a stock ROM. If you really want to go on a custom ROM, just get a stock based custom ROM, because that will do you much better. Yeah, I guess that should be it about the video then. Hope you guys liked the video. Please subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.